We invite all listeners, especially those interested in entrepreneurship and most especially those in grade 12, to join us for lesson 2 in our 5-part series on entrepreneurship. Today's topic is credit bureau. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to define credit bureau, explain the functions of a credit bureau, for example, an information trust company, and explain the influence of a bad credit history on future venture for an entrepreneur. Let's join Anna and Albert on their way to the entrepreneurship class with Ms. David.
Anna, look at the car, my dear. Wow. Some people have money. I can't wait to buy my own car.
Yes, it is really beautiful. The owner has to be an entrepreneur.
Why? Do you think it's only entrepreneurs who have a lot of money?
Yeah, in most cases, yes. That's why I want to be an entrepreneur.
Anna, you are wrong. Do you know that some people have 2 or more jobs earning 2 salaries in order to collect money for things they want? And many people work overtime.
Oh, no. Look at that car. Parked there, Albert. That car could be over $1 million. How can a single person work so much during this time of economic recession to eat, live somewhere, and afford that car?
Anna, do you not know? You don't even know the name of that car. That's a Ferrari.
Of course I know about Ferraris, Albert. They are very luxurious cars and very fast. But I'll tell you what I suspect, Albert. The person maybe bought that car on credit just to show off wherever he goes. I've heard that some people buy cars and even houses on credit with the help of the banks. You just wait. I'll become an entrepreneur. I will work hard and drive my own car. You can work overtime and do jobs if that's how you want to get it. We'll see who gets the car first.
You just made me remember this quote. I read the financial pages this morning. There is this guy, his name is Robert Orban. He said, every day I get up and look through the Forbes list of the richest people in America. If I'm not there, I'll go to work.
Yeah, that's a good quote. He wants to work until he's very rich so he can stop working. But I wonder, by then he will probably be so used to working that he won't want to stop.
Here we are. I wonder what Ms. David has for us in today's lesson. Let's go inside.
Come in, learners. Come in and have a seat, please. Good morning. We are going to discuss about credit bureaus today. A credit bureau is an enterprise working for business clients to investigate the credit worthiness of people. They then assign a credit rating to a client's customer or potential customers.
Credit score.
So if a business has customers wanting to buy on credit, the credit bureau is asked to do a background check on those customers before the business would allow them to buy on credit, ma'am.
How do you know this?
Ma'am, on our way to school we saw a very beautiful car. I thought it could only have been bought on credit because nobody in this country can earn that much money from a day job alone. I actually thought the owner must be an entrepreneur since they can make money faster.
It was a Ferrari, ma'am. Anna and I will compete to see who can afford one first. But right now, I'm so poor I can't even pay attention.
You better pay attention, young man, so that you can learn to avoid debts, pitfalls, and bad credit scores.
Me, I will buy my Ferrari because that's what I aim for. But after that, I will buy an affordable house, even pay for it in cash to avoid paying installments every month.
Paying cash and not having debts is the best way to live. But unfortunately, it is not always possible. And that is why buying on credit can be a better option. Buying on credit, however, requires self-discipline because without self-discipline, you might find your name listed on Information Trust Company, ITC.
That sounds terrible. What is it, miss?
The ITC is one of those credit bureaus enterprises I mentioned before, which investigate the creditworthiness of people and assign a credit rating to a client's customer or a potential customer.
So where does the credit bureau get all this information on people then? Do they spy on them?
Well, they collect legally obtainable information about all the people who buy on credit. When you apply for credit, you give the creditor permission to investigate your credit worthiness, meaning whether you could be in position to pay them their money back. The credit bureau follows up all the information you have given them and investigate whether the applicant usually pay back the money that he owes at the right agreed time.
Sure. Does this company belong to the government?
No. It is a private company with clients all over the world, and the information is available to whoever you apply for credit with or borrow money from. The company traces the person's credit habits and establishes whether he or she has a good credit score. The credit score is the credit bureau's rating of a customer's financial integrity, you could say. If you pay your debts as per agreement and you pay on time, you will be assigned a good and usually a high credit score. Credit score can range from 300 to 850. And the higher your score, the better a borrower looks to potential lenders.
Ma'am, who are the clients of this credit bureau company?
It is mostly banks, mortgage lenders, credit card issuers, and shops that sells on credit that use the service of the credit bureau company. Other personal financial lending companies may also make use of them. For example, if you want to buy a car at Popkowitz through the bank, Popkowitz will forward your details to the bank of your choice. And the bank will forward the information to the credit bureau to check your credit worthiness. Based on the outcome of this investigation into your financial integrity, they will then decide whether to give you the loan or not.
Ma'am, not to talk out of the house, but there's a place my father bought our washing machine from, and they always call my father. Does it mean my father has a bad credit score?
No, but not necessarily. The creditors or the lenders often call the customers just to remind them to pay on time. Your father probably signed a payment agreement, and it is the job of your company's debt collectors to call the lenders to make sure that they remember what they agreed to. But if they have tried to call him several times and he do not honor his promise, they can forward his name to the Information Trust Company, which we call ITC.
Oh, we also have such a company in Namibia.
Yes, it was established in 1990, just the year we gained our independence.
With me, I used to hear that some people's names are listed on ITC and they cannot buy assets like a house. But I did not know why their names were listed there.
The main function of a credit bureau, it is to make sure that their clients have all the information needed to decide whether to grant a loan to an individual or enterprise.
Is it the ITC that decides whether the lender can grant a loan or not?
No, Anna. They do not decide. They only compile a credit report for the requested company. The credit report investigates on individual or enterprise's payment history and credit transactions, and then assign a credit score to such an individual or an enterprise. The report and the credit score they sign will help the lender to determine whether to give credit and how much to safely give and at what interest rate. The higher the credit score, the lower the interest rate that can be charged. So a person with a good credit score is likely to get a loan he or she applies for and is also likely to be granted a low interest rate as a reward for being a low-risk customer.
Wow, I wonder what my credit score is.
If I want to know my credit score, can I also go to the credit bureau and request my credit report myself?
Yes, you can, Albert. It is your right. It is your right to know where you stand financially. They also provide customers with helpful information and tools to understand their own credit history and financial reputation. And they also help customers by informing them how to protect themselves against theft of personal information and financial fraud.
So, they also keep everybody's credit history?
Well, if you have a credit history, it might be on their records. But if it is your first time to be mentioned by a business or a bank, they have to investigate your past credit actions. A credit history is a past record payment by a person which is used as a guide for future financial transactions. The credit bureau needs your record of past payment in order to determine your credit score.
I see. So they look at how good you are at honoring your promises to pay off your credit.
Yes. As a good customer, you should always try to avoid having a bad credit history because it will affect your future chances of getting credit again when you need it.
But miss, surely I don't have to worry about a credit score and having to be investigated because I'll always pay in cash.
You cannot say that, Anna.
Abed is right, Anna. Most people want to buy their things on cash, but there is time when one have to buy urgently and you don't have the cash or take your child to the hospital or have your car repaired in order to continue working. Especially when you are an adult with a family, that's when things can weigh very heavily on you.
I had better buy my Ferrari before I get married.
That will be wise, Abed. Once there is a wife and children, your money may not feel like your own anymore.
You will need to buy on credit, and there are some things you will not afford to buy cash. Like you said, you want to buy a house with cash, but who can do that? And when you start working, your expenses will be more. It will force you to apply for a loan.
Anna is right. Clever girl. It is not everyone's wish to live on credit, but situations might dictate. And that is why we need to have information about our credit history, credit score, and credit bureaus.
Okay. And what will happen if I have a bad credit history? Could I never buy on credit anywhere again in my life?
Having a bad credit history has many disadvantages, and one really should be very careful not to bring this up upon yourself, as it could indeed affect your future transactions. In time, you may want to open a business for which you may need financial assistance, such as a bank loan or to buy equipment on credit. This may force you to apply somewhere for credit facilities.
Sure. Having a business has one too many expenses. You have to buy stock, rent a warehouse or some other premises, pay for equipment, monthly utilities, wages, and salaries. It's a wonder anybody makes a profit.
I'm sure many business people will agree with you, Anna. Especially with the sad state that many economies, including Namibia, are in right now. And that's why it is essential that we should know how to handle and manage our credit. Because one way or another, an entrepreneur, you will need to take up credit. There are consequences of having a bad credit history, and you should know it beforehand.
But ma'am, you have not yet told us how bad the consequences of bad debts are.
For sure, you'll be blacklisted.
That's right, Anna. Being blacklisted means that the business will see your name on the list and they will not give you credit in the future. I have also told you already that those who pay on time or have good credit history, their loans are likely to be on low interest rate.
What do you mean by interest rate?
Interest rate is the amount a lender charges a borrower on top of the loan amount.
Oh, borrowing is terrible. I hope I never need credit in my life.
But if I do, may God help me to pay it off on time.
I'm glad you too understand the pitfalls of credit.
Yo, a bad credit history can influence all that.
And more, bad debts and poor credit record can even jeopardize your chances of getting a place to rent and getting a cell phone on contract.
Ish, so anytime I want to get credit, they will check whether I had credit before and whether I paid it off as agreed?
Yes, you heard most what Miss David said.
It makes sense though. Even if it was me, I cannot just lend my money to a person I don't know. I will first have to do research and find out about the person, who he is and where he works, just to be on the safe side.
That's right, Anna.
So even insurance companies check our credit history?
Yes, they do. Everywhere you go, even outside the country, they will request and get your information. And on top of that, debt collectors will disturb you by calling you non-stop to remind you of your obligation to pay your debts.
Aye, that is why I told you that I do not like credit.
But Abed, why won't you pay back if you know that you owe somebody? I'm glad you get it, learners, because our time is up and we have to wrap up this lesson.
Miss Davids, thank you so much. I have learned a life lesson today.
You are welcome too, Abed. Now, before the bell rings, tell us quickly, what did you learn today, Anna?
I have learned that we have a credit bureau in Namibia, which is a business that investigates the credit worthiness of a client's customers or potential customers. If they investigate you, they will assign a credit rating to the applicant who wants a loan or credit. A person or an enterprise can be given a credit score ranging between a low of 300 and a high score of 850. The higher the score, the better the person is at paying his or her debt.
Well done, Anna. Abed, what can you add?
Yes. We learned about credit history, that our past payments are recorded and they can influence our future financial transactions.
Well done, Abed. Keep up the good work, guys. Listeners, learners, this was lesson 2. Please join us again for lesson 3. For now, bye-bye.
This lesson is produced by NAMCOL with funding from the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture.